knowing the difference between real FBA advocacy voices for the lineage and the certified imposters, phonies, and the fraud. See, the certified imposter will come along, pretending to be real black grassroots, but at the end of the day, these people are not. They got ulterior motives, they got a high mentality, they don't play as a team, and they don't see we. And in this particular video, family, I'm going to be talking about and discussing some of the ways that we can know and tell if the person's messaging that we're listening to is, really about FBA empowerment, or are they a phony imposter and a fake and a fraud? And some of the ways we can spot and know, if the person is real from the fake is, are they too, heavily fixated on one of the political parties, be it the Democrats or the Republicans, while letting the other one, get away with open air murder and everything under the sun? See, we as foundational black Americans, we know that real FBA empowerment ain't going to come through the Democrats nor the Republicans, because neither of these two political parties could give a damn about FBA society. We know that the real FBA brothers and sisters know that real FBA empowerment is something we got to do for ourselves, by ourselves. And another way we can know, if the messaging we're listening to is really about FBA empowerment or not is, are they constantly showing FBA society getting racial injustice done to us, us being on the losing end of the stick, and us being targeted, without showing the flip side to that coin, which is, more often than not, FBA brothers and sisters putting foot to ass left to right, to white supremacist groups and, white supremacists and the tether class of people? Are they constantly showing, FBA society in a downtrodden, defeated position, without, showing, the flip side to that coin, which is more often than not, we're in a power position? Do they want us purposely, to be showed in a victim, type of victim scenario? And damn that whole narrative of us always being victims and getting, racially targeted, without showing the flip side to that coin, which is more often than not, FBA brothers and sisters is putting foot to ass to white supremacists and the tether class alike. And lastly, one of the ways that we can know, about the messaging that we listening to, is it really FBA empowerment or not, is, are the people that putting the messaging out there, are they, trying to get FBAs to support all these foreign causes, minority coalitions, fighting for the Mexicans, deportation out there in LA, them rioting and them trying to get us to serve black and brown coalitions, which never really served our people. In fact, it kept our people getting the short end of the stick more often than not. And damn that whole narrative. See, I'm noticing, some of the people who are trying to, push out this messaging of there being some, under false pretense, false narrative of there being some kind of black and brown unity, that we got to fight all these groups of people, as people that look like us. And, they might even be FBA. But if somebody, FBA or not, I don't give a damn who it's coming from. If they trying to, get us to support some false narrative about there being a minority coalition, black and brown, and fighting all these foreign causes that benefit not FBA whatsoever, them damn people are a sellout, and they ain't got the best interests of the lineage in mind. See, these people know that historically, we as foundational black Americans have fought civil rights, and every injustice there was on the planet. We felt the need to, get out there and bear the force of that, take the brunt of that impact, while letting other people, skate along by while they reap all the benefits and we get stuck holding an empty bag. And damn that whole narrative, them days is gone. We've awoken to the fact that all we got is FBA society, and right now we solely focused on the lineage, us getting our needs and, looking out for our people first and foremost. And while we not saying we want anything to happen to other people, but we wish them luck, we wish them well, but they got to handle that on their own. It ain't an FBA problem, and we ain't getting out here putting the capes on for not near damn individual who wouldn't reciprocate that same energy in return. In fact, I've long heard that Mexicans out there in LA are among some of the biggest anti-FBA racists there are on the planet. They get in political office, and try to mess up brothers and sisters, black-owned businesses out there in LA, get them shut down so they can put their people in them business spots, which is a bunch of nonsense, even when it regards FBA brothers and sisters on the job. The Mexicans racially target them, try to get them fired, run up and tell the bosses, a bunch of lies and nonsense in hopes of bringing Miguel and Felipe and Jose in them positions, which is a bunch of nonsense. There ain't no black and brown unity. We ain't got to fight other people's battles for them. In fact, Mexicans are throw out that N-word at the drop of a dime. So these people ain't for us. In fact, nobody has been historically for foundational black American society. Whenever we want some fighting done, we get out there suited and booted, stand on business and fight our battles for ourselves, by ourselves. So they could miss me with that whole minority coalition and fighting for, people not to get deported, which is a bunch of nonsense. We're Americans as foundational Black Americans. We don't owe nobody nothing but ourselves. In fact, these other groups of people owe us. And in closing, if anybody, even if they look like us, is trying to get us, I don't give a damn who it is, look like us or not. If they trying to get us to support causes that ain't for the betterment of FBA society, these people ain't for the lineage. In fact, these people are sellouts. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.